You were taught in Iraq, when you come to the USA, women are gonna kidnap you.
Security forces of Saddam invaded my house.
How'd you get to the USA? Your brother died, can I ask how? They bury you alive.
Bury you alive.
Israeli flag wouldn't do well in this neighborhood.
You put the gay flag if you like it.
This is Arab style, I would say, right? How has America taken you in?
Now it's different.
That's why I feel a bit guilty.
They think when we get here, the government give us nice cars, nice homes.
What happens to Iraqis that come here right now? As much as a bad guy as he was not connected to radical Islam. Trump, American flag.
I'm gonna show you Trump and Allah right there.
Most of Islam that I've seen is good, but how much of it is taught in a more militant way?
You don't want them to blend in all the way. I don't want that to happen.
All over the media for 42 days.
Exactly.
And then it stopped. This is honestly what sparked this work. Good morning, guys. We all know that America and Iraq have a very turbulent history, but the story the media fails to capture is the one of Iraqis living in the USA. What are their experiences like? How have they integrated into American society? What can we learn from them? So today we have the great honor to meet a local Iraqi American living here outside of Detroit, Fidel, who's gonna bring us into his world. Is this Fidel?
Yes, it is, Fidel. How's it going, Peter?
Thank you, brother.
Man. Good seeing you.
Thanks for bringing us out.
You're welcome here, anytime.
All right, here he is. I haven't met him yet in person. We talked on the phone, but already I can tell. Cool energy, nice smile.
How's it going, buddy?
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It looks like we've met, but we never met. Very warm, very warm.
Yeah.
Fidel, you got a great neighborhood out here.
It is beautiful.
You've lived in the US for how long?
Oh, I've been here since the 93.
So after Desert Storm.
Yeah. My barely teenage was over there in Iraq, and then I came here.
Okay, so you're gonna have great perspective. Your neighbors here, they're not from, they're born in the US, they're all different backgrounds, right?
Different backgrounds.
Okay.
Americans, you see Italians, Iraqis, you see a few Yemenis, a few Lebanese, all around here, living in peace as one family, one big family.
You guys get along pretty well?
Oh yeah, we get along very well. We never had an issue. Never had an issue. Not looking to have an issue anytime soon. These are the cookies from the beautiful neighbor over there, Kathy.
Oh, thank you, Kathy.
Yeah.
I don't think she's watching, but
no, she just left actually. She saw us eating out here, so she was like, you know what, here's some cookies for you guys.
I know a little bit of what we're getting into today. All right, these are all Iraqis, right? We're doing Iraqi
strictly
theme
only Iraqis.
So I'm gonna get into your thought process about living in the US and Iraq and these sorts of things. But we're gonna do fun things along the way. We got a crazy car we're seeing. We got a cop we're seeing, Iraqi cop. Iraqi food.
Iraqi food.
So you have Arab channels on the radio.
Yes, Arab channels, Arab newspapers. Most of us.
Is there any competition ever? Like I'm Iraqi and my food's better, and you're Lebanese and blah blah blah.
You can sense it sometimes, but it's like people go for what whoever have the better food.
I don't know Iraqi food, but I know Lebanese is good.
You know what?
Lebanese is top notch.
You're about to taste the best Iraqi kebab ever.
Downtown Dearborn. It's sort of a driving place. Oh my God, you're getting some bad Canadian influence there. Tim Hortons.
Oh, there is a lot of Tim Hortons.
Oh, stay away from that.
The Barber L is very famous, guys.
Do you need a lock here?
We're good. We're surrounded with Iraqis, so we're safe. We're safe.
I have the Iraqi guarantee here. Salam alaikum. I need a haircut. What style do you suggest?
I honestly think a low fade, probably.
Low fade with some stripes, maybe some lines.
I feel like your hair is a little too long. Maybe a trim on the top also.
The Detroit Lions come to you guys for haircuts?
Signed jerseys, Darius Slay's right there.
I don't know. I know.
He plays for the Philadelphia Eagles now. Iraqis are the best barbers. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is not done. It's just
not done yet. That's a start. Okay. Thank you.
Well, majority of us, maybe 90% of us, our parents came from a foreign land, and you know, majority of us were born here. But we're paving the way, you know, for generations that come after us.
America
it opens doors for people of all backgrounds.
Right.
You know, as long as you're able to work hard, I don't see an obstacle. You know, America kind of lays it all out for you. So if you want to work hard, you can achieve. And if you don't, then sit on your ass. You know.
You know, it's very good to see people like El. I mean, not even being Iraqi, just being from the Islamic and the Arabic, you know,
Right.
Middle Eastern community.
Middle Eastern community. You know what I mean?
What's your take on this place?
Oh, it's solid. Everybody professional. It's a good energy and everything.
And this is your boy over here. He does your
He's
cuts.
solid.
MG.
Yeah, he's solid.
MG, you got a beautiful beard, I gotta say.
And there's a high school right around here. I would say 97% of it is Arabs,
Yep.
and I would say maybe 50% of it is Iraqis. It's
Okay.
right around here.
Okay.
Very historical high school. I was a good soccer player. I had a scholarship from UCLA, but we did not know anything about scholarship. So my dad was against it. He was like, "You're not going there by yourself alone. And you're single and you're still a teenager. You're not going there. You're not traveling." We did not know what scholarship is.
So you were that good?
I was a pro player. Until now, I still play.
How much was that scholarship? Like 30 grand, 40
Back
grand
then,
at
when
that time?
I never knew what we didn't know what scholarship is. We didn't know.
Some bad advice from dad,
Yeah,
huh?
I mean, you know, everything happens for a reason. Could
Yeah?
have been something else, you know, for me to go by myself or there alone. Yeah.
My dad took my whole stock portfolio and,
Yeah.
and put it into the ground,
What?
so I know what you mean.
Yeah. But now my nieces, my nephews, everyone has a full ride going to college and everything. They're happy about it. Nobody tells them not to, because now we have more understanding of what's going on.
Gotcha. Okay, so you were saying in the car, I didn't get it on camera, something about you were taught in Iraq that when you come to the USA, women are gonna kidnap you.
Oh yeah, there's the gangs of women going around. That was long time ago, you know. You know how Americans have image about Iraqis, and Iraqis have, and overseas they have image about other Americans. They were telling us, you know, this is what's going to happen.
Right. All right, guys. Here we are in a neighborhood that Fidel was saying was primarily Arab. Arab neighborhood, yeah?
Oh yes, it is.
So this is Arab style, I would say,
It is.
right?
That is for sure, 100%.
They're-
When you see columns, that is.
They love the columns, yeah. That's for sure.
I left Iraq in 5th grade. I lived in a refugee camp for about 2 years. Yeah.
Where?
Survived that refugee camp in Saudi Arabia. It was right
Okay.
around the border line between Saudi Arabia and the south of Iraq.
And then you came to the States from there?
luckily stayed 2 years. Other people stayed there for many years, longer than 10 years stayed in there. There wasn't any source of life there, or just sand and tents. You have to live in there, surrounded with army. And in that camp, also we had the army invaded us into that camp.
The Saudi army?
Saudi
invaded
army, helicopters, Bradleys, Humvees, soldiers, put everybody against the tents, searched everybody.
you? So then how'd you get to the USA?
By the United Nations. They came into the refugee camp and started taking people out, you know, meeting with people, doing interviews.
Okay.
And they selected the people that they wanted. And the people, when they arrive here, they bring the people that they know.
How do you feel as an Iraqi in the US? Like, how has America taken you in, let's say, or how has your experience been?
When I first arrived, I never had an idea what America is like.
Okay.
Never had an idea how to associate with Americans. My neighborhood was a good neighborhood. I was, when I first arrived here, I was in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, so my neighbors were always nice to me, so I had a different image than what I was told. I was told differently than what I was experiencing.
So people were cool to you.
Yeah, very nice actually.
And how is it now?
And now it's different. Now it's different.
How?
I see it's different between Americans before and different between Americans now.
Like what?
I don't want to say racism,
Okay.
but you can see it, you can sense it.
Was this an after September
That
11th?
was after September 11th.
That changed
Yeah,
it.
and that is because of, honestly, I'll be honest about this, because of politicians.
Yeah.
The way they put it. It's not because of the people.
In the media, how it's spun.
In the media, that's
Right.
exactly what it is. Yeah.
Okay, so I think before September 11th, most Americans had no idea about Islam or Muslims.
Yeah.
And then the first introduction was
September
bombings,
11th, bombing,
instability, chaos.
Yeah.
And then the media tied that to Islam
To
very
Islam,
closely.
Islam and Muslims.
And then
Yeah.
what are people going to think if that's their only bit of information, right?
I think they did that to use it as an excuse to invade the Middle East. I hate talking about politics, man. I don't want to go near. You know?
No, it's cool. I generally
that's one
stay
thing
out
that-
of
yeah,
politics in
yeah.
this channel. I really try my hardest, but
yeah.
it's hard to avoid it sometimes. So
But it is what it is now.
I mean, to me, that was the biggest blunder in U.S. foreign policy.
yeah.
I remember 1991, sitting at a restaurant. I was a kid. When was that? January 17th
Yeah.
or 16th?
Yeah, right
16th or 17th, 42 days of bombing, right? This is honestly what sparked this work. I was like, okay, all over the media for 42 days.
Exactly.
And then it stopped 100%. And I was like,
Like it never
what do
happened
those
before.
people think? How are they living now?
Yeah.
Like, what is their world like now after 42 days of bombing?
Exactly.
And that's what got me curious about the world.
Yep.
Because I felt like the media let us down. That was the time of 3 channels.
Yeah.
At least that's what I had.
And one thing I don't get actually is September 11 was happened because they saying Osama bin Laden, Saudi. What does Iraq has to do with it?
As a young child, I understood that look, Saddam, Ba'athist Party, secular. That guy fears radical Islam more than anyone because they want to take him out.
Yeah,
He doesn't
yeah.
represent their interests.
He
As
does
much as
not.
a bad dude as that guy was,
Exactly.
he was not pushing Islam on people, right? Women didn't have to wear headscarves under Saddam.
They were not forced to.
He wasn't connected to bin Laden, but they framed
They
it that
framed
way,
it,
and they lied us into that war. And that's why I feel a bit guilty. And I'm going to let you run in
Yeah,
a second, but I just got to get this out.
Okay.
That's why I feel a little bit, I don't know if guilty is the word, but I always felt for Iraqis because that invasion destabilized the country.
did.
So I wanted to meet Iraqis. I went to Syria when it was safe, 2008, met Iraqis. These people all had to leave their land. Many of their lives destroyed, many of their families broken
Everything.
up, whatever.
Everything.
Despite that, they knew I was American. They would invite me in and say, would you like some tea?
They still do that.
And so they didn't take their anger out
No,
on me,
they
which
know.
was unbelievable.
They know it
which
has
was
nothing to do
unbelievable.
with the population of Americans. They know it's all
Right.
about politics. They know this because we've been through it. We lived our lives, wars, over war. I was raised into war. Saddam was controlling too much of the country. You were always on the run because of something you did not do it yourself. Because probably your brother did it, or a friend of your brother did it. So they come and take you, and instead of taking somebody, they come and take you and until your brother returns back. They came, invaded my house. Security forces of Saddam invaded my house. My brother did not join the Iraqi army. They invaded my house. They did not capture my brother. They came back looking for the little ones until the brother comes back. So we ran out from the roof to the next door neighbor. We snuck out the outside door. The snitch that snitched on my brother came, picked us up. He was like, what happened to your brother? We told him they captured him. So he picked us up, took us he asked us where we were going. So we said we were going to my cousin's house.
Right.
And this is where he took us. The same snitch that snitched on my brother came back from around the house, met us, picked us up, and took us somewhere else to safer haven, I'll say.
Safe haven.
Yeah.
So how did you feel when the Americans went into Iraq?
First, we were happy because we were told.
And we're talking 2000, what is it, 2002?
2002.
Second time?
That was second time, 2002.
Yeah.
2002, approaching 2003, I believe, right around that time.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
We were happy
You were happy.
in the beginning because they were talking about, bringing democracy, Iraq is going to be one of the most valuable countries in the Middle East. Everybody's going to look up to. Now look at it.
Yeah, but how do you bring democracy? It doesn't need to come bubble up from the culture, right?
Exactly. You cannot enforce democracy. You cannot enforce democracy to people who never experienced it before.
Right.
You cannot bring democracy with culture.
So do you think the US government did not understand that somewhat basic fact, or do you think
They
they
know
knew
exactly what
They
they're
knew-
doing.
yeah.
They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know how many pieces of your hairs you have.
With all the cameras these days, yeah.
Yeah, they know,
going down.
they know exactly what they're doing. Trust me, man. They know exactly what they're doing. Yeah. But we're here now,
it
you know.
was by design, but by
Yeah.
that design, it destroyed a lot of people's lives.
And,
But also, you
You're
didn't come
talking
at
to
that
us.
wave. But
Yeah.
some people did come over to the U.S. at that time, right? Some
Mm,
Iraqis.
The Iraqis start migrating out of Iraq right after the Gulf War. We
91.
we never had that experience. You go outside the country because we were not allowed. You were not allowed to have passports to travel
Okay.
outside Iraq.
What about Iraqis? Have any come over recently to the U.S.?
Palestinian flag right there.
Palestinian, yeah. The Israeli flag wouldn't do well in this neighborhood. Let's be honest.
There was one. There was one right across from the.
Really?
Yeah, in Fortson High School. There was one. They know this country is a law country. A government. It's a law country. There's this constitution country here.
Yeah.
You live. You don't harm people. You're good. Put whatever flag. You can put the gay flag if you like.
Yeah.
They don't care as long as you don't harm others. That's the reason most of us chose America to be here.
You chose America.
Yeah.
You didn't want to go to Europe?
No, it happened to be here in America, which is can't complain about. You know, I like it myself.
And what do you do? What's your profession?
I was in college 2 years. After I left college, I was in the private contractor that I told you about, and then I
Private contractor for
with
government.
the government.
Okay. We can't go into detail.
Yeah.
you said, but-
Yeah.
Okay.
And then now I'm running a trucking company.
Oh.
Yeah.
How's that?
I drive myself sometimes. I like it. I've been in it for the past almost 2009. I started. I like it.
This is a great neighborhood.
Yeah.
Very calm, safe feeling.
Iraq is very unpredictable, honestly.
Okay.
Very unpredictable.
Is that why you guys like the U.S.? It feels more predictable.
Yes, because here is more secure future.
How
Over
do you
there,
feel now after this last year? Do you still feel that secure future, predictability?
It's better than any other country, I'll say that.
You can see everyone here is covered.
Yes.
All the women are
Subway.
covered. And then you're in like a normal American strip mall environment.
Yeah.
Very interesting. It's got to be a challenge having kids though, and like the values are so different
Yeah.
between Iraq and here.
You cannot enforce it. You have to teach. You cannot enforce
Because
something
you
that-
want them
yeah.
to blend in here, right?
Exactly. But you don't want them to blend in all the way.
What do you mean by all the way?
All the way. Like when you're 18 years old, you just leave right out of your house.
You don't
go live
want
on
them
your
to do
I
that.
don't want that to happen.
You don't want your...
I want my family to stay close to me. I want my family to stay more belong to their moms and dads through their good times or bad times.
You don't want them to dress in ways that are provocative, right? Your
That
daughters?
is number one. That is number one. I want them to be representable.
How do you control that though, with like Instagram and all these forces out there?
I don't want to say it is hard, but we try to monitor,
Okay.
control things,
Okay.
and then I mean whatever happens, we try to teach them, not enforce it, but teach them what's the good way. Show them something alternatives.
Tell me where to stop, wherever you want me to stop.
Okay.
Your brother died. Can I ask how?
He died because he stayed. The Iraqi forces, Saddam Iraqi forces, came trying to take over the city, trying to take back the city from the uprisers that arose against Saddam Ba'ath Party. And my brother did not want to leave. He said, "I'm staying here. I'm not leaving. We've been waiting for this day to take Iraq back to the people, to get rid of Saddam." And he stayed there until he got. God
And then
bless his soul.
this was
Got-
91?
That was in 91. That
Okay.
uprising that we had, yeah.
Okay.
That uprising was active for about 21 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was, 11, 12 years old. Yeah,
And-
I remember I was in my mom's lab. I was hearing explosions all over the place. I was seeing what they call it, something similar to fireworks to lighten up it was at night, to lighten up the area so people can see, so the army can see where's the people movement. My dad telling my mom, we have to get ready to get moving. We have to leave the country. We have to leave the city because the army is moving in.
Right.
And then we called the neighbors of us. He has a dump truck. They got us, all of us, back into this dump truck. And then we made a stop to pick up my brother, the dead brother I just told you about, to pick him up from this certain area he was in. He said he's not leaving, he's staying there. So we went across from the city to the country, and I was seeing with my own eyes the helicopters was cleaning out the areas from the people we used to call them mujahideen. against Saddam's Ba'ath Party. Then
Cleaning out as in just
cleaning
bombing
us,
everything?
bombing everything. So we took off. We got to a place, a safer place, and then all we know is my brother and his buddies. I was on the other side. My brother, the one we talked to, he was online earlier. He came to me. He was like, "Hey, Fidel, come here." I was like, "What's going on?" And he had tears in his eye. He was like, my brother was named Ali, and this is why I named my son Ali. And so my brother came to me. He was like, "Ali got killed." I couldn't take it in my mind. But we were doing everything fast as we go because we were fleeing the country. So we put him in that land, that certain land I was telling you about, and we took off. And then we took off from one city to another city. Until we got, let's say, to the middle of Iraq. It was just me, my little older brother, 1 year older, and it was the ladies and my dad. And all we know is the Saddam's army going inside of the cities with sirens, playing songs for Saddam, calling out on everybody to come out. They put us in a big land, open land, and helicopters is who's flying on top of our heads. They separated.
Wait. Music, Saddam's music played. Everyone had to go out into the streets.
They were with siren.
Mandatorily, they had to get out.
Yeah.
And when you went out, did you feel you were just going to get
We were scared. We
shot
thought
or
we were
what?
going to get, because it happens. People were in mass graves. This is what they normally do. And most of the people were put in mass graves. And they took everybody out. They wanted to separate the young men and leave the children and women on one side. The young men, they were taken out. They were put in mass graves. They were gone, disappeared. Even till this day, they're still discovering mass graves here and there.
So how did you and your family avoid that?
How did we avoid it? It was just me and my 1 year older brother. We were young. They expected us, would never carry the gun. They let us go with the women because we were young. We were much younger than the other ones.
So if you were a few years older, you wouldn't have gone.
I would have been gone.
You would have been shot.
That's it. I would have been done. Not shot. They dig in the ground a big hole. They put you in there. They bury your life.
They bury you alive.
They bury your life. Yes.
They didn't shoot you, push you down, and
They don't shoot you. They just put you in a dump truck. They flip you back. They flip you back in this big hole, and they bury you back. That's it. When we fled Iraq, my brother, we couldn't bury him where we wanted to bury him. So we were fleeing Iraq. We buried him, it's an emergency place just to bury him so we can take off and leave. And we waited for all those years until got rid of Saddam. My dad went back to take him out of his grave and send him to Najaf, where the shrine of Imam Ali, which is, we call it, the people, most of Shia, they bury their dead ones at that spot.
Fast forward to the second invasion.
Yeah.
You were for it. You were for Saddam getting removed.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, on the street back there, you said you were not for the invasion. Is it super complicated? Is that what it is?
It is super complicated. It is super complicated. It would have been much easier to have a solution to Iraq instead of invading the whole country.
You were glad to see Saddam go.
I'm glad to see him go, but I'm not glad to see Iraq as it is right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that how a lot of people feel?
Most of us feel like this.
So and it depends if you're Sunni or Shia, right?
Not really. Not really. There's a lot of Sunnis who've been also tortured.
Okay, but if you're Kurd, you're 100% happy the Americans came in.
Kurds are very happy.
Because they've been left alone.
Blame them, yeah. They were in a green zone for almost 10 years.
Okay.
Saddam was not allowed to go into the north side of Iraq. It's our fault to rethink back all this, everything that happened.
Okay, we can stop whenever with this stuff because it's a window in that most of us don't have.
Yeah.
And the more I dig into everything, it's more complicated than it.
So deep. It's like I have to take you back and forth through the story to put everything back in pieces to understand exactly what happened.
Okay. Look, there's no silver lining in any of this, it seems like, but is there anything a tool that it's given you to become stronger in life or to navigate life better? Is there anything you've gotten out of it?
That's exactly what I got. Now I look at big things as the little things in my life. Like the other day, we didn't have hot water. My kids were complaining, how am I gonna take a shower? Like, come on man, are you serious? I got me a pot, fill it up with water, put it on the stove. hit the water, went back into the shower.
So
That's it. It's done.
it basically moved the
What you got?
goalposts of
Yeah,
like what
exactly,
you can withstand.
Exactly. I mean, hard situations makes you a hard man. People should appreciate what they have. For the littlest thing they have, they should appreciate.
What's that over there?
It's Al Tawheed school where they teach you about God. Strictly religious school.
Look, most of Islam that I've seen is good.
Yeah.
Like most people have been open, friendly. I think it's being taught in a peaceful way. But how much of it is taught in a more militant way, let's say?
Well, you have to know the differences between a political Islam and just a regular Islam who people want just to live like everybody else.
Right.
Yeah, there's big differences between.
How many are involved with political Islam versus, let's say, regular
A
Islam?
very small percentage. Political, but they had a loud voice.
They have the loud voice.
Yeah.
In the U.S. too?
And I don't think in the U.S. they do. There's mom calling.
Incoming call. Press Uconnect phone button to answer.
That's your mom?
No, that is actually my wife. I call her mom. Because she treats me like her son. Where you going? Where you going back from? Where you at now? She's calling. Oh, there we go.
You were saying that Islam,
Yeah.
some are looking at as just Islam, some are looking at as politics.
Politics.
It is a theocratic religion, right?
It
In
is,
the Middle
yes.
East, it's the politics and the religion are tied together.
Yeah. Politics.
Depending on the country?
Depending on the mentality of the people. To be honest, a lot of us, they mind their own business over there. If you go, like I'm talking the side of my country, Iraq.
Okay.
A lot of us, they mind their own business. Their worry is where they're going out to eat, where they're gonna go hang out. Because lifestyle there is different than here. There is you don't have to work from this certain hours to this certain hours. Yeah, they work in the morning, at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. They wake up, eat their breakfast, they go to work a few hours, 4 or 5 hours, they come back asleep. They go open up their shop again from 5 to 7. They'll go dress up, they go hang out.
This is an interesting shot right here. Trump, American flag,
I'm gonna show you Trump and Allah right there.
woman in headscarf. That's why I love doing this work. I see things I would never imagine.
That's what I do. I go around here.
Doesn't mean that's her flag though.
Look, there's a
just
Trump
the
and
scene.
Allah. That's something you're gonna like.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right there.
So unpack that for me. There are some Muslims here that are big Trump fans.
There, you know what? There's another nice sign over there. It says, see right there. We don't care where you came from, but you are our neighbor, so we love you. Something like that.
You like to see this?
I would like it actually. Yes.
How do you feel when you see the Trump sign?
I don't mind it. I personally don't mind it.
And I would never thought I'd see Arabic scripts
Arabic
next
next to
to. This is the elementary school for your daughter?
Yeah. Education here is much different than overseas. Here we see a diverse education. Like my teacher, I used to stay home and listening to the teacher that teaches my kids online. A lot of the names she mentions is Islamic names, to be honest. Muhammad, Omar, something like this.
In the public school.
In the public schools. Probably you would hear it somewhere else in, let's say, maybe somewhere like European countries. Of course, you hear that, but you don't hear that in Arab countries. Like, hey, you know what? Like in a dialogue, you don't hear Chris says this, and that into an Arabic conversation. But here, you hear it into the English conversations. Muhammad says this, and that. That is teaching kids here, students here. When I hear these words, I defend this country more. I try to tell people this is not everything that you have heard. I feel I belong to here. It makes me get more offensive when I hear something bad being saying about the Americans. Yeah. So I tell people, you know what? Because when I went overseas in Iraq, they were telling me about America. You know what? Oh, why are you in this? Oh, you guys are in this kafir country. I'm like, you know what? This is not
what country?
Kafir country. Kafir country means, people who does not believe in God.
Okay.
No, Habibi, this is not a kafir country. You know what a kafir country is? Is you guys are a kafir country. Honestly, this is exactly what I tell them. If you're homeless, there's an option for you to go look for a home. If you are jobless, there's an option for you to get a job, regardless where you came from, regardless what your nationality is.
Right.
They help you out. That doesn't happen in the Arab countries. That is That is the truth. That's the reality we're living here. So we get offensive when we hear that overseas. They're telling us, you know what, is this the truth? We tell them exactly what it is. That is something they need to know about.
So when you go back to Iraq, you're speaking proudly about the U.S.
I do. I speak proudly about the U.S. The justice in the U.S. And I even told them that, because one image they have about America here is like, you go there, you get all the women you want. Oh, there's my daughter right there.
Your dad's a pretty funny guy. You think so?
He is funny.
He's funny.
But he's funny.
Oh, so cute.
Come on,
How was
you ready to
school?
go home?
Good.
Go ahead, you can go up there. They got her over there.
Careful, Dolly.
My pleasure, my pain.
That is my wife's, I save her name as my pleasure, my pain. Ah, my pleasure, my pain.
Hi, Mother.
Hi, أنا بساعدك.
Mommy.
Well, she is my pleasure, my pain. She's the one that makes me happy. She's the one that makes me cry. No matter how happy I am, she can make me cry. No matter how sad I am, with her warm hug, she can calm everything down.
Behind the doors of the home, who's in control?
Oh, honestly, she is. Yeah, she controls my wallet. She's the one that runs the home. Yeah, even though I act like I'm the man of the house, but she runs the home. And every day you see demolishing homes here, rebuilding into much bigger homes.
It's definitely an Arab.
All of them Arab.
All of them.
All of them. Big homes, Arab.
The columns.
Columns, Arab.
The
That
copper.
is one of them.
Yes.
That's one of them. I'm telling you. We came from big home. My house was a 3-story house.
Okay.
Almost 9 bedrooms in there. My dad spent most of his savings for building this house.
Yeah, and it's not just Arabs showing off. Everyone does that.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the money, why not enjoy it?
Yeah,
honestly.
that's true.
We don't like to feel like someone owns us. We like to work hard to own our homes, work hard to own our businesses, work hard to own our own cars. We don't like to feel like there's someone behind we have to run back to. You know,
Okay.
That is one thing, and that comes out of hard work. Especially when we first come in here, we work hard to accomplish what we look for. And I don't want to say a lot of people hate on us because of this, because we have nice things. You see a lot of people envious. They think when we get here, the government give us nice cars and nice homes, which is totally not true.
People honestly think the government's giving you nice cars.
They think this is what they do. They think the government gives us nice homes and nice cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happens to Iraqis that come here right now?
They get assistance, yeah, in the beginning.
Like what?
They give them, like they say, food stamps, rich cards, to get them going. But Iraqis do not like to live like this.
Okay, Iraqis.
They're here, they have dreams. Especially the new ones are coming here. They're not coming here to be laid back and get paid by the government and just go eat, sleep.
You're not
repeat.
going to represent your people poorly, obviously. Are you saying you think most people?
Most people, I'll say.
Some are mooching off the system, right? That's always the case. There's some lazy people.
I honestly, I would say the very small percentage. They're hardworking people. That's from my experience. Hardworking
Well,
people.
look, the U.S. policy destabilized the country dramatically. So I get, like, we owe something to the Iraqi people, I feel.
I mean, owning something to Iraqi people.
Look,
I would say just leave them alone. You know, just leave them alone, and they will do it.
Don't do anything.
Yeah, just help them. Maybe help them to reestablish Iraq together.
No more nation building. No more nation building. We already went through that.
Leave them alone. Let them build their own home. Just don't bother them. Leave them alone. Let them do it.
Leave Iraq alone right now.
Let
What do you
them
think?
do it. Let them do it. Yeah.
Let the country figure out itself.
Let the country figure out itself. Exactly.
All right, guys. Always interesting to see things through someone else's perspective, especially an immigrant's perspective. And Fidel came over a long time ago, but he still has his feet in both worlds. I believe everyone we came into contact with today is Muslim. Fidel practices 5 times a day, he told me, practices a lot. And then I think they're just varying degrees. Just like I would, if someone asks what religion, I guess I'm Protestant. I was born Protestant. I don't practice. So when people think of Islam or look at Muslims, it's the same thing. The range is massive, and you can be at this side of the spectrum or this side of the spectrum, and a lot in between. And secondly, in my content, I usually avoid politics for the most part. It seeps into certain videos, but I try to steer the needle away from it as much as I can. But a video like this with about America and Iraq, there's no way of avoiding it. It's going to seep in, and rightfully so. The countries have very turbulent histories with each other geopolitically. I was against the war from the get-go. Really upset when it started, never wanted it. And it was interesting hearing Fidel speak about it, how he loved that Saddam was taken out, obviously, from his history with Saddam and how the country was run, but then wasn't really for the way the war continued on. So the point I'm trying to make here is it's like most things in life, like most of this content, like most religion and most topics, the deeper you go into them, the more murky and gray and confusing they get. So take that with you if that's the one takeaway from this video. That was one opinion. Fidel talking about his thoughts about American intervention in Iraq. There are going to be many different opinions depending on where the person's from. If you go to Erbil in Kurdistan in the far north, I haven't been there, but I think 100% of the people are close to it are going to be very happy with the US's invasion. If you go to Baghdad and you're Sunni, I think it's going to be a different story to some degree. And then imagine if you lost somebody. If a family member was killed because of the war, what would that do to your feeling about the invasion? So something to think about with these videos. I'm not trying to provide an answer. I'm just trying to provide you a way in, and you can interpret it how you'd like to. Thanks for coming along. And if you haven't seen my other videos of the series, I'll have them down in the playlist, and some more interesting content coming your way. Okay, until the next one. This is a very unique opportunity. I've been trying this for a long time.
I want to become an FBI agent. I found out it's a boring job. I don't want to do it. I like being a street cop.
Can I get your registration, license, move insurance, please? No English, sir. That's what I have,
People think what happened to police in the last year and a half is a bad thing. I think it's the best thing that happened to police. We're going to the superstar. Although he probably doesn't like me because I gave him a couple of violation tickets. When you call the police, it's probably the worst day of your life. You never call the police when you're happy, do you?
I think the immigrants are teaching all the lessons right now.
Amazing soon. Can we do donuts and coffee after this?
We're going? All right.
We can't do our job the way we should do.
What's your favorite color?
Let's go blue.
Okay, rolling.
I'm at 50 Cent.
You from Iraq?
I'm from Earth. Never no police officer should abuse authority. No.
There's some bad cops out there, right?
Please, go somewhere else. Travel. See the other side of the world. You'll come back running here appreciating it.